Hey, Kris.
How's it going, Leann?
Good. We're here today to talk about the clients and organizations that we work with and what we're noticing around COVID.
Yeah. So this is our COVID series.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about emotions and resilience because really we feel that that's coming up a lot. Wouldn't you say, Kris?
Yeah. And actually, there's so many factors at play right now that we've never experienced. So we've got the pandemic. We've got fears about the economy. We've got isolation, social isolation. Even though, yes, maybe it's fun to work at home sometimes, but it also has its drawbacks. And then just in general, a whole lot of stress.
Yeah, I'm really, seeing all that with my clients. So, I want to talk about emotions a little bit and give a story. And so, one of the things that I've noticed that's coming up with more than one of my clients, and I'm sure it's true for a lot of people that might be watching this, is they've got someone on their team that is showing up with a lot of negativity in their communication, in their body language. And maybe this has been a problem for a while for them, but it's really poisoning the team. The person is showing up snide comments, under their breath comments, even political comments. And it's a real issue. And maybe they have addressed it in the past, but it's something that is getting worse. Have you noticed anything like that, Kris?
Yeah. And just in general, I'll say there's a general degradation of civility and respect in many situations. So I have a little story. It's kind of from my personal life, but I think it is really applicable to many settings in which we are interacting with people that are providing service to us. Maybe we're doing business with them. But I was actually at Target the other day, and I had 2 bottles of wine in one of those little separator bags, and it was positioned in such a way that the cashier accidentally knocked it over. And all of a sudden there was a crash and there was red wine all over the floor. And it was amazing because it was almost like this SWAT team of people. The manager came over and he had a walkie-talkie, and then there was a guy with a mop and a tub, and another person came, and it was quite a coordinated effort to do this. And I was standing there in like complete awe of how they attacked this problem. And he's like, "Oh, ma'am, don't worry. And then all of a sudden he stopped and he looked at me so sincerely in the eyes, and he said, "I just really want to thank you for not yelling at our cashier."
Wow.
And I said, "Of course not. It wasn't her fault. And I think it was my fault because of where I put the bag." And so he said, "Yeah, but you won't believe how many people yell and scream at the cashiers nowadays."
Wow.
And I was like, she was a really young gal. And of course, no one deserves to be yelled at. But to me, this is a sign of really increased stress that everyone is experiencing, and also the need for us to just really take a deep breath and remember that people are in service to us in all different types of ways in our life, and we're working with people, and that it's so important to be kind, right? And it's very, very important.
Yeah, people are showing up with stress and they're taking it out on others. And so it's important for us all to remember that. And then in the workplace, if you have somebody that is acting that way, it's really, as we said, like it's poison to the team, right? And so let's offer a tip. Let's offer something that people can really take away from this. And what I would like to say on that point is that if you have someone, if it's a new problem, if it's been an ongoing problem, either way, it really takes direct communication. And it's really, more importantly, a performance metric. How people communicate in the workplace is a performance metric. And I'm not sure how much people are thinking of it in that way. Kris, you want to add?
Yeah. And it was, in terms of a performance metric, I would say the person that was a supervisor, the coordination of this mini cleanup SWAT team, he was an excellent supervisor, because what he was doing, although he was interacting with me and he was interacting with the people that were helping to clean up, he was showing support to his staff members. So
Mhm.
this young gal that was a cashier, through visible support of her, he actually sort of bolstered who she was and comforted her, because I'm sure if she'd been yelled at before, she was probably prepared for that from me. But the fact that he was giving her a commendation and thanking me, all of that was really kudos to her. And it was not exactly the typical type of coaching, but it was actually an interaction with me as a customer, sort of in a triangular way that was really supportive of his employee. And
Mhm.
I just think that that's so powerful and so important for managers to do that, to really support their employees that way.
Great points, Kris. And so then in some of the places where you and I work for clients and organizations, I would say the relationship to those issues that we're seeing is that a manager, if you see somebody consistently behaving in that negative way, bringing that negativity, which is contagious, it's an energy that will spread across your team.
Mhm.
You need to really deal with it right away, whether that is in public, right there in the workroom or whatever, or in the office space, or whether that's in private. That's for you to decide. That's a contextual thing. However, what is evident in what you offered, Kris, is that you really do need to protect your other employees from that in whatever that appropriate way is. It's just, it needs to be dealt with, and you may or may not be dealing with that at the level that you really need to right now with all the stress going on.
Right, right. And that is the courageous conversation, is to be able to jump in at that very moment and say the right thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And because there are times that there's a very short window of time that these kinds of conversations are the most effective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
So we're going to dig into this topic more in a next episode, where we're going to deal more deeply with emotions, but please take that tip away, that think of it as a performance metric. Kris is going to tell us about the future series that we're going to do here.
yeah. So we have 4 more modules coming up. So the next one is going to be a deeper dive on emotions. Then we'll talk about relationships in the pandemic, what's happening with all of our relationships, and flexibility in family. And then we will talk about performance management a little bit. So that's the series. So each of those will be a separate topic, and we might add another one just in case. So we'll see.
Yeah, so please join us. Hit the subscribe button to make sure you get all of our future content. And thank you so much for listening to us here at Courageous Conversations. See you next time.